Alrighty, so today we're going to work on de-stressing ourselves if we've got stress, trauma, PTSD, and complex PTSD. And the goal for today is I allow my body and conscious mind to learn from and let go of old stress and trauma. I am allowed to feel calm. It is safe for me to feel calm and peaceful in my body. I sleep deeply through the night, knowing everything always turns out marvelously well. My relationships are easy and peaceful. I stay calm throughout the day, even when provoked. My higher power supports me fully in this. I deeply love all of my children, my inner children who are stressed and traumatized and who keep me from feeling calm and peaceful. I invite them home to my heart. So that's going to be the goal. It's probably with suggestions that people email me about. You can maybe start to see a little change in this basic goal. But the reason why I do this is because when we have a goal like that, it's actually stressing out inner children, as you can glean a little bit from the goal. And so my thought is to activate them so then we can calm down and integrate them. And we integrate them in multiple ways in this session, which will take about 45 minutes. Pardon me. So the first thing I'm going to do is a stress release. My goal is to just get into doing some work because when we're stressed, we can't learn, we can't listen. I know this from my personal experience. It was like the parents in the Charlie Brown cartoons when we were kids, you know, those movies, yeah, bop, bop, bop. It was like that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start to help everybody de-stress. So just imagine that you're lying on a massage table and I'm at your feet and I am allowing some energy that's over energy, excess energy, to be able to just go down to the center of the earth to be cleaned, and fresh energy can come up back into your body from the center of the earth. And you can also imagine a golden grounding cord heading down to the center of the earth from your tailbone as well. And I'm just feeling the energy field. When it balances out, I know that we are at equilibrium. Very good. Take a deep breath in and let that go. And now another area in which we can hold tension is emotionally. And so a good basic reset for that is if you were lying on a massage table and I were to place two hands on your forehead about an inch or so above your eyebrows, like so, and at the same time, if I were holding these points right below your collarbone, this is the K27, the end of the kidney meridian. So you can hold those points on yourself, or you can just relax knowing that I'm holding them for you. And again, imagining that golden grounding cord going down to the center of the earth, and any old chi can flow down that to be purified, and fresh chi can come back up to your tailbone for distribution through your body. And again, I'm just feeling for that system to tell me that it's been cycled through completely. So you can imagine it's calmer because of the first one, but there's still some nuance that needs to shift. Alrighty, take a deep breath in and let that go. Very good. So the next thing we're going to do is a type of meditation called Bun meditation. I'm just going to run us through what we call the secret version of it, because you can do this when you're in the middle of a stressful situation and nobody knows you're doing it. I could teach you the external version, but the external version is going to be very obvious that you're having an issue with the person that you're talking to. There's a lot of physical movement. I'm just laughing because I'm thinking of some of the gyrations that are done for this program, and it would be, people would be taken aback at you doing it in public. But yeah, so the inner salung is very mellow, very yeah, very. Joan, you've probably seen it on my YouTube. You can look at it on my YouTube. It's very, very, very amusing for the typical Westerner that shows up. So let's go ahead and just imagine all of your chakras. So we're going to start at the top, the crown chakra, which is purple, and we're going to work our way down through the body. So the process is to imagine that the breath comes up on the inside of your skull and around under the underside of your skull, through the back, and then in front of your spinal column, all the way down, about an inch in front of your spinal column. That's called the central channel. So that central channel, we're going to follow it down until it gets about 3 finger widths below the belly button. So you might want to go ahead and just kind of get a sensation on your body of where that's located. And if you think of it from this side, if you were to take a paper clip, this is kind of what we're doing. So it's coming in the inside of the skull, coming down the spinal cord, and then we imagine that it goes up to that spot below the 3 finger widths below the belly button. So we're going to take a deep breath in, and I'll run us through it like I'm doing, but I just want you to get a visual of that. So coming down like that to 3 finger widths below the belly button. And then we're going to release the energy, but not the breath. We're going to hold the breath. And with the breath, we're going to imagine the energy is coming back up to that crown chakra, which is just right up in there. And each time we do it, we're going to imagine it going to a different spot on the paperclip, which is going to be associated with a particular chakra and a particular color and a particular direction. So with that said, remember, this is just a practice. It doesn't have to be a perfect. I'm going to ask you to be a perfect meditator, just a practice meditator. So taking a deep breath in, imagining that breath coming down all the way to 3 finger widths below the belly button, and then holding the breath, but sending the energy of it to that crown chakra position. And some people can't hold their breath for long, so I'm going to say go ahead and release it when you need to, imagining energy coming from the top of your crown chakra and the color purple, like a purple vapor or smoke coming from the top of your head as you release. And the beauty of this meditation is that it's actually helping develop your anaerobic breath capacity. Now, so we're used to aerobic breath capacity. We're just doing our stuff around the day, just not asking the body to be able to handle the process of anaerobic breathing. Or basically pausing the breathing to require it to do some anaerobic activity. And it turns out that there are some benefits to anaerobic capacity, improving your anaerobic capacity, which is breath holding, how long you can hold your breath. I will look them up and go through them next time. But just know that it's something that can help us relax to a certain extent. When we hold our breath too long, it stresses us out. And only you can know when that sweet spot gets hit. So that is going to be it for the crown chakra. Let's quickly move through the rest of it. Taking a deep breath in. And this time imagining that breath traveling down, down, down the central channel to 3 finger widths below the belly button. And this time it's going to come up to the throat chakra, which is the light blue. And when you are ready to release the breath while holding the energy here, you radiate 360 degrees around you, that blue light, that blue, like a vapor or smoke. You can imagine it as you release. And then you can take another deep breath or just calm breath. Up to you as we pause for a moment. And you may notice a sense of calm and peacefulness settling in your body, which is a lovely benefit. And when you're ready, take another deep breath in. This time heading down to 3 finger widths below the belly button. And this time the energy gets sent to the heart chakra, which is an emerald green color. Holding it there for as long as is comfortable. And when you've had enough, let it go 360 degrees in that emerald smoke or vapor everywhere around. And again, noticing that calm. And when you're ready, let's do the next one. Deep breath in. Sending the breath and energy down to that 3 finger widths below the belly button and releasing the energy only. And this time heading to the sacral chakra, which is at the stomach, right below the rib cage and above the belly button. That's a yellow color. And as we are ready to release that, you can imagine 360 degrees of a yellow smoke or vapor as you release that. Again, reminding you it's not a competition to see who can hold the breath longer. It's about finding that sweet spot that's just right for you. I remember practicing this with my husband, who's a surfer, and he can hold his breath underwater just an unnatural amount of time because it's developed from having to. And I couldn't possibly have held it so long as he holds his. And some people I know just can hold it for just literally a second or two, and then it stresses them out. So it's whatever is perfect for you. And if you're a pearl diver, you would put my surfer husband to shame. Alrighty, taking another deep breath in. And in this system, we send the energy and breath down to that 3 finger widths below the belly button. And this time we go straight to the root chakra, that first chakra, which is red at the base of the pelvic floor. The second chakra gets skipped in this system for the inner system. And when you're ready, so the energy is actually going down this time. It's going down from the belly button, or at 3 fingers below the belly button, to the pelvic floor. And this time we're going to release it downward, that red smoke or vapor. And just relax into the body. and feel the refuge that's offered from this type of meditation. It's actually considered the initial form of meditation that was native to Tibet before Buddhism came in. It was already, they already had a pretty amazing system, I think. Alrighty, so then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about the subconscious. Now, I know you two already know a lot about it, but for those of us who are watching this later or who want to just watch this to prepare for another session coming up and participating live, this will help. So the subconscious, I think of as a hero. It is trying to take steps to save our lives. And it's saving our lives by following rules that it learned, particularly when we were young. The first 7 years, there's not even a conscious mind that's developed yet. And so everything is learned through watching and seeing completely non-verbally. And that's great if we had a really healthy, happy family dynamic. And if we had trauma in our childhoods, it's not so great because it's following rules that are not to our optimal benefit. But it is a hero because it's doing the best it can and it thinks it knows more than we do. It is by far the dominant amount of brain material is the subconscious and the unconscious. So these parts are trying to do their best to make sure that we're safe. 100% we're going to survive. It likes continuity. It likes the continuation of what is experienced and survived already. Now, we as a conscious mind know that what we survived in the past has stressed us out and it's preventing us probably from being able to be in our optimal health right now. So we're aware of information that it can't agree to yet. But in the course of a session like this, with the goal coming up that is stressing the inner children, it gets closer and closer each time because we're multiple layers to allowing itself to be rewritten. And every week we'll be ready for another layer. Now, the other thing to talk about is the upper limit problem. This is a term coined by Dr. Gay Hendricks. He's a psychologist who's in practice and runs groups. And he talks about that limit as being a zone where our subconscious knows that we're safe. We can't go better than that, and we can't go, it doesn't want us to go worse than that. So we literally can exceed it, in which case it's so stressed out, it's doing everything it can to set up us getting back into its zone of comfort. And if we go too far below it, it will do things to help us get back into that zone. But for those of us who have that kind of lower than where we want to be because of our childhood trauma, it's resisting change. So partly what we need to do is to start telling ourselves a positive destination. And the positive destination is something like everything always turns out marvelously well. And this is something that I am going to tell you you will struggle with, and this is normal. It's like, I was just explaining to somebody the other day, it's like if we were driving down the road and we were in England, and obviously we're in America. So a lot of Americans, if you just put them on the road in England and they were able to go straight and not make any turns, they could get used to being on the other side of the road. But as soon as a turn comes, it requires that you reorient yourself. And that's where a lot of accidents happen. People overshoot the lane that they're supposed to be in, they go in the habitual lane, and tragedy happens. So You can have it in your mind that everything always turns out marvelously well, and then some new thing will show up in your life, some new thing that you're absolutely certain you know, oh, this is bad. And the important thing to remember here is not just everything always turns out marvelously well, but what I call the practice of not knowing. You're not your higher power. Whatever you call your higher power, you are not it. How can you possibly know? You can think that you know, but that's actually calling it in. So unless you want that, practice not knowing. And that is just literally just reminding yourself, oh, well, I think that I know that because of this, that, and the other thing, something horrible is going to happen, but I don't really know. I'm not my higher power. So I'm just going to be open to the fact that I can't know and I don't really know, and everything always turns out marvelously well. It's like you're driving over in England when you do that, and you start to go into the wrong lane, and whoop, you end up in the correct lane. It really does help. So, and then the last thing is to say, if we give the subconscious what it wants, this is what we're doing. We're partnering with our subconscious. We are developing a relationship. Yeah, good. We're developing a relationship with our subconscious. It has a lot of reason not to trust us. If you were one of those kids that decided to jump off a wall with a blanket on your shoulders to fly, or I can't tell you the number of people I talk to who say, oh yeah, I tried jumping off the roof. Well, at least it was just a wall for me. So it knows that we come up with some pretty harebrained ideas. And it was already mature when our conscious mind started to develop. So it knows that it's the smart kid in the block. And it knows that it has its needs. And its needs are to learn emotionally. And believe it or not, we may think that as the conscious mind, I think so much all the time. How could I feel so much all the time. How could I possibly not be feeling enough, right? I mean, it just feels awful sometimes in the body what we go through, and we suffer. We really suffer, but we aren't doing it the way that the body can actually learn from, because when we resist, it can't pay attention, it can't record, it can't learn. We're interfering. We're pulling the emergency brake, and the engineer of the train is being disrupted and it's causing a derailment. That's basically what happens in our lives until we realize this concept and start to try to change and partner with our subconscious. So by giving it what it needs, what it wants, and my vision of it is really this is the way that the soul grows, is by experiencing emotion. And that all of the times that we have something happen in our lives and we allow it to learn is what is recorded in the end as an accomplished life. Not necessarily, like the ups and downs that happen. That's not looked at negatively. It's, wow, I got to learn all of these feelings. I learned the hard way the first 50 years of my life, maybe even the first 55 years of my life, as I was making this shift. And it, kind of dawned on me late that I can get out of my way and partner with my subconscious, and I can do the easy version rather than the hard way. And I'm all about the easy way, because I would like to be Cream Puff Girl instead of Jonah and the whale. I feel like the first 50 years I was Jonah and the whale. So with that said, we're going to do an emotional clearing and then a chakra reset. I'll integrate inner children, and then we'll just close with some gratitude. So thank you for the flowers. So first off, the emotional clearing. So let's see what this goal is going to bring up today, and it's what we have in common. It needs to come off the plate, so that's okay. So I'm looking it up. Okay, so this is feeling like a fraud. um, and this is somebody else's feeling. So sometimes we pick up other people's feelings and carry them as if they're our own. There are ways in which we can feel we don't deserve to have the success that we have still. It can be kind of lingering, or ways in which we are feeling like we don't have what it takes to show up in our lives to be a success. Um, and so I'll just ask you to connect to whatever sensation the body sends you, and that is what will help your body learn the easy way. So I'm holding the points, and as you feel into your body, and this is difficult for some people because a lot of us live from the head on up. We learn that the sensations in the body aren't safe. So if you can't feel anything, just send love to your body. Allow yourself to feel love in your heart. And it could be that with time, you'll get more information from your body. But if this is a new concept for you, then it's totally normal that your body is saying, hey, wait a minute, I don't know. Am I really allowed? So give your body permission by either out loud or in your head saying, body, I love you. I give you permission to send me this feeling. And we often can't do that during our work day, right? You know, if we're ready to see somebody professionally, we aren't going to allow ourselves to feel like a fraud, because people can pick up on emotional sensations within us, which we've learned that we have to squash them. But in safe spaces like this, in the comfort of your own home, you have the ability to tune in. And if the sensation is unpleasant, it might be sensations like hot or cold, numbness, tingling, pressure, ease, movement within the body, discomfort. These are all normal. It's part of the emotional learning. So just send it love. Love is like a teaspoon of sugar that helps the medicine go down easily. Yeah, it's important that we free ourselves of judgment during this time. And I am feeling the field for the emotion processing. And when I feel that imbalance, then we'll be ready for the next feeling. Very good. Take a deep breath in and let that go. Alrighty, so that's the first feeling. And I'm just testing for some other. So we have another layer. Alrighty, so let's see. This one is in over my head. Now, this is a chronic feeling. So connecting in with your body, giving it permission to feel the feeling of being in over your head. Again, I'm just feeling for the field to make sure it's in balance. And again, noticing hot, cold, numbness, tingling, pressure, ease, movement, discomfort. All of that's normal. You could by your acceptance of the feeling, you could have your fascia rearrange itself, and that can cause a nerve to be getting some new blood flow it hasn't gotten in a while, and that can make it kind of squawk with discomfort. And that's a positive, even though it doesn't feel so great. Very good. Take a deep breath in and let that go. Alrighty. So then the next thing we're going to do is to get back to resetting chakras. Okay, so I'm just sending universal energy through me to help reset chakras. It's actually a little bit above the heart, in between the heart and the neck. There's a high point on the chest, so it's right at that is where that reset is coming to you. Alrighty, deep breath in and let that go. And then integrating inner children. We're just going to connect in. Imagine that you can walk into a beautiful, safe place where your inner children that are ready to reintegrate to your heart are resting, with the older ones taking care of the younger ones. And imagining that you can walk up to them and either out loud or in your head say hello. Tell them, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were here all alone. I came as soon as I heard. I'm you, all grown up. We've survived and we've thrived. Your home is in my heart. Come home to my heart. And show them pictures of you through your life to the present day. Maybe a half a dozen or so. And now ask them if they're willing to come home to your heart. If they tell you yes, let's go ahead and proceed. And if they tell you no, then after I post this recording, you can go back in and connect in with them and just give it more time. Asking them if they're not willing to come home to your heart, if they think they are your higher power, will often work to help convince them that it's safer to come home to your heart. So imagine those little ones heading home to your heart. They can shrink down and become points of light. And you may sense shimmering or vibration in the body as they get smaller and the fascial train releases them, all of their energy and emotion to come home to your heart for the emotional lesson to be held in the neurons of the heart. Again, if they don't feel that they are coming home fully yet and you need some more time, when this is posted as a video, you can replay it and allow yourself more time and just pause the video until that feels complete. But assuming we are all now at the part where all of our inner children have come home, take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, send a buttery yellow light of self-compassion to every cell in your body. And when you're ready, take another deep breath in. And this time, send out love and gratitude to every layer of you that's cooperated here today. All right, so the last part is to compare how we felt before the session to now. Perhaps you've gone from feeling completely frazzled, maybe like a 10 on the freak out scale, to now feeling like a 0, just totally mellow and chill. Perhaps it's something slightly less dramatic, but hopefully you notice a sensation of calm. And this is like a muscle. This is a higher vibration than you are operating on typically. It will be exactly like anything else that you do. Those with working out, the more you lift a weight, the more you can lift. And the more you come back to the state of mind, the state of being, and meditating in that, the more it will be available to you. So if you're having a hard day and you want to replay this video, I encourage you to. It will help you to also stay in that higher vibration. Sometimes we get so knocked out of it, it's not so easy to head back. And sometimes even just that first part of the video where I'm holding the different energy points on the body might be enough to allow you to get back into that zone. So it could be pretty short amount of time that will get you back to feeling where you can remember the end state of the whole session. So thank you so much for joining me. I am grateful to you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.